Alright, so today we are ranking the top, I don't even know how many midfielders of basically the last decade. Alright, so I'd like to preface it with a few things. This is mainly the 2010s, number one, right? So there's some players on here that didn't feature that much in the 2010s, so their ranking is obviously going to be lower. Number two, there are definitely some huge players missing off this list. Thiago isn't here, Bernardo Silva, definitely some others. So obviously if your favorite player isn't on here, I'm sorry, I'm not the one who made the tier list. Right, I just stole it off somebody. And the third thing is, I'm gonna be honest, don't know who this guy is, and I was surprised that Ozil wasn't on the list. So this guy's gonna be Ozil. So this guy right here, he's Ozil. All right. And I just wanted to preface it with like my overall criteria. So it's gonna be based off of overall consistency, longevity, that matters. Your performance in big games, your trophy cabinet, the eye test, right? How good were you like on the ball, like on the field? Whether you're a defensive midfielder that won balls or you're a playmaker, whatever. And I'm pretty sure that's more or less it. All right. So let's get started. First one here, Toni Kroos. I mean, for me, he's one of the best. So I'm just gonna throw him straight up there, table one for now. All right. Obviously, I can change them later on, but I think table one. I mean, he's won the World Cup, multiple Champions Leagues. He's one of the best, and you can see this season how Real Madrid have completely dropped off without him. So he's definitely up there. I'm going to save some of these guys for later. I think it's better that way. Right? I think it's better if we save some of the big names. Let's take Ozil. All right, again, this is going to be Ozil. For now, I think high three. It's just a club stage he hasn't had that much, right? He doesn't have the Champions League titles. He doesn't have some of the big things that some of these other players have, but I will probably move him up to table two. I will probably move him up to table 2, but for now, I say we hold him off on table 3 and we see. Blaise Matuidi. I mean, he has that huge World Cup campaign with France, right? He was a great player for Juventus, but overall, compared to these guys, he isn't on the level. For now, table 5. Pirlo. All right, now this is a great player. The thing is, he didn't do it all during like the 2010s, right? But he was still great. I think if this was like all time, I'd probably put him table 1. For now, I'm gonna put him high 2, just because he isn't, he didn't play all throughout the 2010s, right? But for now, high 2. He could probably move up to 1. Paul Pogba. I mean, you can see it from the picture, right? He has the World Cup trophy. He was huge for Juventus, and honestly, if this tier list was based off of just talent, he'd probably be number 1. Like, he's one of the most talented players of all time. But it isn't based on talent. I think that for now, table 2, he's definitely not better than Pirlo. I think we can put him above Ozil for now, just because of the more he's. I guess he's accomplished a little more on the European stage. I don't know if he's actually better than Ozil though, so we'll see. We might move it around. Schweinsteiger. All right. I don't know that much about his early parts of his career, but I mean, I know he won the World Cup. He was great for Bayern, instrumental in a lot of those divisions. Obviously, won the Champions League. Right? He's a great player. Is he better than Ozil? Again, I think we're just gonna throw him in, and then we're gonna decide like later on where these players really rank. Honestly, I think I'm gonna move Ozil up for now. Right? Obviously, I don't want to fill up table 2, but for now, I just want to preface it to that degree, I guess, and then we'll switch it around later. Schneider. I mean, obviously 2010 in my opinion, probably should have won the Ballon d'Or if it wasn't for Messi having as many goals as he always has. Obviously, took Netherlands to the final of the World Cup that year. Won with the Champions League with Inter, was I think their highest scorer too. I mean, insane season. But really, that's all you think about when you think of Schneider. He was a great player overall, but besides that, there isn't much you can think about. So for now, table 3. Vidal. Again, he's a great player, great defensive midfielder, had a great career with Bayern, played for Barca for a little bit, but overall he just is not on the level of the rest of these players. So, for now, table 5. Xabi Alonso. Alright. I mean, he was incredible, right? He's a great player. He was definitely up to the level. Played for Real Madrid. He has the Champions Leagues. Obviously, he was part of that Spain team, right? 2010, 2012, incredible player. I think we top him table 3 for now, and then if we can move him up, maybe we'll move him up. But for now, he's at least the top. See, but in that case, he's definitely better than Ozil. I mean, this comes down to personal preference. Let's do this, and then I think I'll switch it around later on. Yaya Toure, right? Great, a Man City legend, right? I don't know about the international stage, obviously, right? But in Europe, he was decent, even though City never won the Champions League with him. Obviously, for the league, he was really good. He's the legend of the club, but he's not as good as some of these other guys. So I say table 4. Sergio Busquets. I mean, if he isn't table 1, he's going to top table 2. I mean, he's probably the best 6 of all time. Revolutionized the position, right? With Iniesta and Xavi and that trio for Barcelona. I mean, probably the best midfield of all time, right? And he did it for Spain, 2008, 2010, 2012, right? Repeatedly for Spain. Even when he got old, I mean, he's still at the top level. So yeah, definitely up there. Casemiro. I mean, he's a legend as well. For some people, the best 6 of all time. I think he goes in table 2. He's definitely above Pogba. I mean, Xabi Alonso's above them both, to be honest. I think I'm going to do this for now. Though, to be fair, I mean, Pogba is kind of on there just for the eye test. I mean, he passed the eye test so well, right? Just on the ball, he's so good, even though he doesn't have the trophy cabinet that other players have. Iniesta, I mean, for now, top of 1. I don't know who else is up there, really. I mean, Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, the best trio of midfielders ever. Iniesta, same thing as Busquets, same thing as Xavi. He's going to have, the entire European pedigree. He has the Champions League. He has the La Liga titles. He's really good on the ball, right? He passed the eye test tremendously. So, I mean, for now, top table 1. Ivan Rakitic. I mean, any midfielder that plays for Barcelona is obviously a great midfielder. Compared to these guys, I don't think he's up there. Obviously, he took Croatia to a World Cup final. Honestly, in my opinion, he was more important in that run compared to Modric. He was probably their best player, or their second best player. Obviously, he was great for Barcelona. Won the Champions League in 2015. For now, maybe bottom of 3. For now, I think he's really underrated. Xavi, I mean, he's going up here. For me, it's really difficult to say that Toni Kroos is better. I don't know which one of them is really better. I think it just comes down to personal preference. I think these last few seasons, especially the fall off of Real Madrid this year, just like style-wise, when Toni Kroos left, I think it kind of shows how important he was. That's why I'm putting him above Xavi for now. They're both controllers, very similar players. I mean, both have Champions Leagues, World Cup, Euros. Well, Toni Kroos doesn't have a Euro, but Xavi's got the Euros, so we have that. David Silva, I mean, if you ask any Man City player from that time, they normally say David Silva was like the best player, right? He's really good on the ball, passes it when it comes to Europe. He's a Man City legend, right? He was there with Aguero, stayed there up until De Bruyne's time and everything. I think eye test wise, I think he's better than Ozil, but I think I'm gonna put him. Here. I think Rakitic is gonna go down. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do for now. De Bruyne. I mean, De Bruyne's got to be table 2, right? I think I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna drop Pogba. And drop David Silva. Yeah, I mean, De Bruyne. I mean, he's he's the first really 10 on this list, like straight 10, where you really judge him on output. And I mean, he passed it in the Champions League year after year. He's incredible. In the Premier League year after year, he's incredible. Like last season, he had 16 assists or something like that when he literally came back in January. I mean, he's incredible. I think I'm tempted to put him over Casemiro and Xabi Alonso just because of even though he doesn't have the trophy cabinet that they have, he was just incredible. I mean, what does hurt him is his career internationally with Belgium. Even though I don't expect him to win the Euros or win the World Cup, but every single one of those tournaments, you expect De Bruyne to be the guy, and he just never is for Belgium. It was always Eden Hazard. So I'll probably put him here for now. Fabregas, I mean, he's a great player, Chelsea legend as well, but I think compared to the rest of these guys, not really on the level, I guess you could say. I'm gonna put him top of table 5 for now. Top of table 5. Conte. I mean, he won the Premier League with Leicester, went on to Chelsea, became probably the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League at the time for a while. That work rate's incredible. On the ball, he's good. Right, he does it all, even from his smaller height and everything. For France, obviously has the World Cup, so there aren't many players that can compete with Conte and his pedigree. So I think Conte goes. Honestly, because of the Premier League and everything, I think Conte has to go above Pogba. So I think I'm going to put Conte here. Yeah, I'm going to put Conte here. And then Schneider's just going to drop Luka Modric. Now, this one might be controversial. Even though you have the Ballon d'Or, I think just because you win 1 year, it doesn't necessarily make you better than everybody else on the list, right? Also, realistically, based on past years, Ronaldo probably should have won that year, and he wasn't the best player for Croatia during that World Cup, but obviously still an incredible player. 5 Champions League titles. He's still playing for Real Madrid. Could have more, right? Tons of La Ligas, right? Took a small country like Croatia to a World Cup final nonetheless. Captained them above Busquets. I think that's what I'm going to do. In my opinion, Cruz is definitely better than him. Iniesta is definitely better than him. I mean, if you want to mark the argument between him and Xavi, sure. But in my opinion, I think Cruz is more important during that team, right? To that team. I think I would still have Xavi above Modric. I think if I'm building, an ultimate team, I think I would still have Xavi above Modric. Fernandinho, I mean, he was crucial for Man City, right? Coming up, right? Rodri's basically his successor, right? He was crucial for Pep's teams, incredible for Man City, won Premier Leagues, had titles. I think like that. I think this one I'm going to do. Yeah, I think he's just under David Silva, but he was still an incredible player. I mean, he's definitely up there with the rest. And last one, Isco. Okay, this is an interesting one. A lot of people think of Isco as this sub player, but 2017, Isco was starting over Gareth Bale. Zidane dropped Gareth Bale to start Isco. Right, he was an incredible player. He's an incredible playmaker. Passed the eye test higher than half of the guys on this list. I'm tempted to put him in table 3. I want to fit him in table 3, but no, I honestly think I will. I think I'm gonna fit him in right here. In my opinion, he was incredible for Real Madrid. He has the Champions League. He has he played for Spain. Not during their brightest period, but still. Maybe top of 4. No, but Schneider only has it for the 1 year. Even though Isco was a bench player a lot, I think that's how high he really was and how high I personally rate him. All right, and then let's see. I think I'm gonna put Pirlo over Busquets. No, I'm not. Just because it's based on the 2010s, that's why I'm not going to. I think overall he should be above him, but because it's based on the 2010s, I'm not going to. I'm just looking through the rest of this list to make sure. I mean, yeah, okay. Honestly, I like it. I think I have Vidal over Matuidi. Yeah, I think this is how I have it, honestly. I think this is my perfect list. Obviously, leave it in the comments if you disagree. Leave it in the comments if you think this is completely wrong, where you would switch people up, right? And if you like this video, please let me know, and I'll do other tier lists of other petitions, or a full tier list, all time, something like that. So just let me know, and check the description for any news. Thank you.